we are going to be using Google Draw to create a geographic drawing, or we're actually going to recreate the world map. I know that sounds daunting, but it's actually not that bad. Here are the instructions. Today you'll be using Google Draw to recreate a world map. Mr. E, that's me, will demonstrate how to use an image and trace it. I'll show you that in a few minutes here. The project criteria. So this is what you need to do. You need to click on the link below to make a copy of the geographic template. So when I actually click on this, and I'll show you what this looks like, we say make a copy. But this actually has all the instructions on the side. And again, I've mentioned this before, that when you turn something in, this actually won't show up there. So it's just directions for you to use there. You're going to need to draw all 7 continents. You most likely will want to use the scribble pen or the polyline pen found under line. You can also use a map to trace it using the scribble tool, and again, see my video to do that. You'll need to color each continent a different line color. You'll need a text box function to label each of the continents. You'll need to label the 4 major oceans. You'll need to draw the equator and label it. You'll need to draw the prime meridian, which is this line down here, and label it. You'll also need to draw a compass rose, that's your north, south, east, and west, and label it. And once you're done, you'll submit it to Canvas. Now I have 2 examples of past student work here, and I'm going to zoom in so you can look at it. This first student here, Marika, she actually used the polyline tool. Polyline tool is a little bit harder to use, and I'll show you why in just a few minutes here, but she basically kind of outlined the thing. One of the coolest things about polyline tool is once she's done outlining it, it'll actually fill in the color. Now if you use the scribble pen, you won't be able to do that. So we have South America, Africa, Australia, Asia, etc. Now Chloe used the scribble line, and still looks really nice, but it's you can't actually fill in your areas there as well. If you notice, she also forgot to do the oceans on her final project there. And so here we go. Criteria, what I'm grading you on, whether or not you have the 7 continents. They're in different colors. The continents are labeled. They're spelled correctly. That's always an important thing. A single spelling error will drop you down 5 points. Oceans are labeled, equator line labeled, prime meridian labeled, and finally the compass rose, that it's been created and labeled. So here we go. I want to show you real quick how to trace something. If I go up to Insert Image, and what I want to do is I want to search, and I want to find a world map. And you want to find a good world map. So I'll just grab the first thing that I see here. Actually, let's grab this one. If you notice, this one does not have Antarctica in it. This one does. And I'll click on that and select. And now I'm going to go ahead and put it down here. Now I'm going to stretch it a little bit. I know this is going to distort it just slightly here, but I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So here's how you use the 2 different tools to trace something. When you do this, you'll probably want to spend a lot of time, but to speed things up, I'm just going to go fast. If you notice, I went down here, right down to scribble, and, oops, I need to grab that scribble line again, scribble, and let's try that one more time, scribble. Why isn't it working? Alright, there it is. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm just going to go real carefully, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of follow the contours of the United States here. And now I'm in Mexico, on a beach somewhere, relaxing in the surf, going around Mexico, and there's Florida, and I'm going to go up. Now when you start getting up into the islands, you don't have to do all of the islands there. You can do a few of them if you want, and so, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to go a little faster now. Alright, and now what I'd want to do is I'd want to go through and do Greenland here and Iceland. Now, if I go ahead, I'm going to move my map right now. You won't want to move your map until you're done, but if you notice, I have a pretty nice shape of the United States. I can also click on this line, and I can change the color of it. So say I wanted it to be red, it can be red there. And what you'll do is you'll do that with each of your continents there. Make sense? Now, the harder method is the polyline tool. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to want to zoom in on this one. And so I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here, and I want to be able to see all of North America. And the reason the polyline is so hard is that if you double click in the same area, you actually have to make some fairly long lines. So if you notice, if I click too close, you can see what happened. The whole thing shut down on itself, or it said, oh, you must be done drawing. And so as I'm doing this, let's go ahead and undo that. and we're still on the polyline tool. You have to make larger steps here. So, and that's okay. It kind of gives it a blocky look, but and I'll just do a little bit more. And I'm going to go really fast now, so it's not what I want you to do, but oh no. But what I do is if I can go all the way through and I was going too fast, if I can link it back to the beginning, that will fill in that whole thing. So again, that is a little bit harder to do. Make sure you get all the things, double check for your criteria, which is listed right on your template there. Make sure you have all these things, and you're going to go ahead and turn it on in when you're done. Get going now!